How much do we need to invest to retire off of dividends? Now this question always comes to my mind whenever I look at my dividend income tracker. When will I ever retire? How much do I need if I want to retire before I reach 50 years old? Is it really possible to retire early? However, the answer for everyone will be different because your goals may be different from mine. Like maybe you want to live a luxurious retirement, travel to any place you want, and buy all the things you've ever dreamed of. For me, my dream is simple. I want to be able to provide all the needs of myself and my future family while still having some left to reinvest in my portfolio so that even though I'm retired, my portfolio continues to grow. So how much do we need for this? If you search it up, if you're single, it says you need at least 27,000 pesos a month to provide your daily needs, but it does not include shelter, savings, investment, and leisure expenses. So if you rent a small apartment that costs you 9,000 a month, this will shoot up to 36,000. Now I tried to break this amount to make sense of this computation. 6,000 on electricity and water. Though this is quite high, you'll only reach this for a single person if you turn on an inverter AC for a whole day. 12,000 on groceries, assuming 300 pesos a day. 6,000 on transportation. 3,000 on miscellaneous, which can be for some maintenance or investment. 9,000 on rent. So a 36k monthly expense makes sense. But if you want to add in leisure, let's say you give yourself 1,000 a week to at least eat out, or 1k a week of saving for a staycation once a month or something, we will close it at 40,000 a month. So for a single person, you need at least this amount. Well, you can lower this down if you're very frugal, but we'll use 40,000 a month as our basis. This means for a year, you're looking at 480,000. Now for a family, this article say you need at least 94,000. So to simplify things up, you just doubled everything up a while ago, but let's close it at 100,000 pesos. This still for me can be drastically lowered if you budget wisely. So if your goal in investing is to get 5% off dividends from your portfolio, if you're single, you need at least 9.6 million invested to get 480,000 a year, and to get 100,000 a month or 1.2 million a year with a 5% dividend yield, you need 24 million invested, which is a very big amount of money and even almost impossible to reach for some. But that's if you just save for this amount and never use the most powerful force in finance, which is compounding interest. I've shown this several times how powerful it is to compound your money, that even with a small amount, you can reach numbers you didn't even thought was possible. If you don't know how compounding works, it's simple as getting interest from the interest you earned. To put it in perspective, if you have $1 million right now and earn 5% interest from it, you get 50,000. So your portfolio's value is now 1,050,000. Next year, when you earn another 5%, it will get to 5% from the new value of your portfolio of 1,050,000. This means you get a higher dividend of 52,500 compared to the 50,000 in the first year. If you continue this year after year, then this would get bigger and bigger, just like a snowball rolling down a hill. As it rolls further down, it gets bigger and bigger. Because if you just save up, for example, that 9.6 million, it would take you a very long time. Like 10,000 a month of savings would take you 80 years to get 9.6 million. But with compounding, the time it would take would drastically shorten. Let's first compute the 480,000 for a single person. Now let's assume you would just rely solely on dividends, which you have a lot of choice where you can invest your money here in the Philippines. First, of course, stocks, and Pag-ibig MP2. So if you started with 0 and only invested 10,000 a month with a 5% dividends, and with a tax rate of 10%, which is the tax rate of dividends in our country, and with a small growth of 2% a year, which is very conservative, you'd reach 480,000 passive income after 30 years. So if you started at age 23, at 53 years old, you would have a 41,438 passive income a month, and a portfolio worth 9.7 million. You see the big difference, from 80 years down to 30 years. And by using compounding to grow your portfolio, the total amount you invested is only 3.4 million. So the rest of it came from pure dividends, because starting year 14, the annual dividends you get are equal to the amount you're putting in, and this is all from dividends alone. Remember, in stocks, you also get capital gains. If you invest in the right company, of course. This can also cut down the time you need to get to the right amount. A 5% dividend yield is also a conservative amount. Pag-ibig MP2 has an average yield of more than 6% and is tax-free, and you can even shorten this up if you just increase your savings rate to 15,000 or 180,000 a year, from 30 years down to 25 years. At year 25, you would get 504,000 pesos income a year. and a 9.89 million portfolio. There are a lot of Filipinos out there who rely solely on their SSS pension, which wouldn't be enough. So you can have a higher amount than your pension even before your 50s if you started investing $15,000 a month with a 5% dividend yield. Now, before we continue, if you want to start investing to start that dividend snowball, but don't know how to value companies or scan website to website for the financial statement, then there is a solution to that, which is simply Wall Street. This platform has it all. They provide charts, graphs, comparisons, and countless of data for you, which can easily be understood by a beginner investor. They also provide you with updates whenever the company releases its earnings and dividends, when insiders are buying, and when the stock falls below its intrinsic value. Yes, they compute that as well for you, which is really helpful. They also have a portfolio tracker that lets you assess the health of your portfolio. So if you want to try it out, they offer their basic plan forever free, and if you avail of their paid plan, then by using my link, you can get up to 40% discount, which is only limited to the first 100 subscribers. Try out Simply Wall Street. Now back to the video. For the 100,000, if you have a family, well, I assume you wouldn't be investing alone and that your partner will help you save up. If both of you contribute 10,000 each, which is 20,000 a month, it would take you 33 years to reach 1.2 million passive income with a 5% dividend yield, and at year 33, you would have a portfolio worth 24 million. This is from your invested money of only 7.6 million, and if the both of you contribute 15,000 or 30k a month, it would cut it to 28 years. Now I know these are perfect scenarios wherein you get a fixed 5% dividend yield, but remember, these are also conservative numbers I'm putting. Pag-ibig MP2 gives a 6% dividend yield a year, and sometimes even as high as 7%. That is tax-free. In stocks, there are strong companies out there that provide 6 to 15% dividend yield. REITs provide 6 to 8% yield a year, and if you want to factor in inflation, then go for a higher amount. There are a lot of things you can do to get these numbers faster. First, you budget. If you're spending 40,000 as a single person, for me this is quite high. You can lower this amount drastically if you budget wisely on food and electricity. I always take the lesson of the book The Richest Man in Babylon by heart. Pay yourself first. This means you immediately take a portion of your income first for investments or savings. Then the rest, that's what you budget for your expenses. It's not your savings or investments that will adjust. It is your expenses that will adjust for the remaining money you have after investing. If it's not enough, then remove that unnecessary expense. The first years of adjusting your life would be the hardest, but you'll get used to it anyways. Second, you can increase your value. This is by far the best route as well to speed up the process. Budgeting has its limitations, and you can only go as far. By increasing your value, you can get better job opportunities, which if you get one, would increase your salary, and you can go higher than 15,000 a month of savings. Third, and one of the most important for me, choose the right partner for goodness sake. If you think you can reach this amount if your partner is a spender who wants you to buy all the luxury goods out there just to look rich, then my friend, good luck. Well, if both of you are rich and have 6-digit income, then yes, you have the money to spend. But if not, then choose the right one. Your partner is one of your most important investments. Chances are, if he or she supports you and contributes to your financial goals, the process would be a lot faster and easier. Fourth, choose the right vehicle to use. Before you even open up a brokerage account, or even as simple as investing in Pag-ibig MP2, even if it's a risk-free vehicle, you have to do your homework. You have to know how it works first. Knowing the basics is important, especially if you're going to do it for a long time. Knowing where you put your money and how it works prevents you from making rational decisions when the market goes down or when the process seems to be so slow at start. A lot of people tend to give up in just a few years because they didn't know what they invested in the first place. They panic when the stock price of the company goes down because they don't know how the company operates or what their businesses are. They rely solely on gossip, news, and content creators for their decisions, which won't end well. That's why doing your homework not only helps you pick the right companies to invest in, but will also give you the right mentality, which can help you survive and do this thing consistently. Although I know dividend investing takes a lot of time, but this is better than wasting your money on investment schemes that have high risk which can burn your money in an instant. The same goes if you waste your money by letting it sit in your bank account, which gives you little to no interest at all. With time, discipline, and compounding, it can transform a small amount of money into something big that can let you retire early. It is not impossible, you just have to know where to put your money and let compounding do its job. With that said, I hope you've learned something from this video, and if you did and still haven't clicked the like button, I'd appreciate it if you do so before leaving. Thank you and see you in the next video.